Now last time we sorted out my we sorted out my fabric scraps together, but I guess I stashed away a couple of bags of super extra special fabric scraps. So just when I thought that I've finally gathered all my fabric scraps in one big plastic tub, there's always more. But I say that these are special because a lot of these are either silk fabric scraps or really pretty prints. Like, look at this one. Isn't this just gorgeous? There isn't much of it though. And also some fabric with special meaning. Like, for example, this one, I bought this fabric, you won't believe it, way back when, probably close to 10 years ago in Manchester, United Kingdom, in Fabric District. So it definitely has a special meaning to it. And when I looked at it, I was like, wow, it just screams summer. It's juicy, it's bright. I do have an idea for it, but I'm having a little bit of a hard time visualizing it. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead, sketch it out, and see if I have enough fabric to make it happen, because there really isn't much. I have in mind this really beautiful geometric design, almost like the frame on top of the shirt. And I know, I know this sketch doesn't look like much. It was a rough one, so I have a vision. I'm invested in it, and for that, I think I want to combine this beautiful floral woven and this just very simple white t-shirting that I don't really have much of either, but I think it should be enough for the pattern pieces that I will need. The first step is to choose the pattern and then, of course, do all of the design work on it. And here the challenge comes with not only working with wovens and with knits in one garment, for which you need to make sure that you have enough ease in your garment so that way it can handle that, but also doing those design and color blocking lines, because you can't really have it just however you want it. You also have to keep in mind the fabric and the amount of it that you have to work with. Actually, at one point, this fabric was a crop top. Then I remade it into a crop top with peplum. Then I fell out of love with that. I chopped it apart, and now it's a fabric scrap. Okay. So far it seems that I do have enough fabric for this idea. So now I just gotta cut it and put it together. And here at this very step, for some reason I just really started doubting myself. I don't know, it just felt like this white and this beautiful floral green, it felt like it's missing something. So I wanted to add a little bit of pop of color. And then I decided, you know what, I have this beautiful apple green lyocell that I've actually purchased for a completely different project, but I only needed a tiny bit, so that worked out fine. So what I did here is I created these little inserts, which is not the first time that I've done that, by the way. Look at this little sweatshirt, sort of like hoodie that I made for my daughter. Super cute here at the raglan sleeve, and then sometimes I will insert that as a ruffle too. So here are a couple extra ideas for your future project. And then each of the pattern pieces, when I assembled them, was sort of like a sandwich between 3 layers. Each one of these sandwiches was first basted together, then sewn, then pressed, and after that top stitched, so that way seam allowance is nice and flat, and it just all kind of looks and brings it together. I loved how this green sort of created a little framing around the pattern pieces, so I thought this would look really good as the hem of the sleeve as well. So that's exactly what I did. After all of the sandwiches were done, which was the main point of the construction and of the design, it was just as easy as sewing a shirt or a top. So let me just tidy up all of the loose threads, and then I'll put it on. We'll take a look at it together. And there it is. You know what? as much as I doubted myself throughout the entire process, I really love how the final result looks. I think it's fresh, it's fun, it's just right for spring and summer. It does have that interesting design on top, and I love how these green details sort of like make a little frame for each pattern detail. The top stitching is done with Eloflex thread, so that way it could preserve a little bit of elasticity. And then also the neckline over here is finished with a ribbing, so it's not the same fabric as this white t-shirting. And then on the bottom, you know that I like a contrasting hem from time to time, to sort of like bring it all together. So I did 2 colors of green, one darker and one lighter. And you know, here right in the middle, I was pretty set on putting on some sort of iron-on vinyl, like a flower or a green leaf or something. But now that I'm looking at it, I can't really decide. And then I did post a sneak peek picture for the members, and half said, you know what, it looks just fine the way it is. And the other half was like, oh yeah, it could use some sort of graphic in the middle. So how about you? What do you think? What would you do if you were the one who designed this t-shirt? I love it. You don't have to like it, but I truly hope that this gave you some inspiration and ideas for your fabric scraps. So I'll take a look, I'll decide if I want some sort of graphic in the middle, and maybe you'll see the final result at the end. Ooh, all right. Are you ready to have a really good laugh at my expense? So, in short, right now, this next project, as for right now, is a total fail. I think there's a way to get out of it, but let me tell you what happened. So I had this very small piece of this beautiful stretch denim, and I made a jacket out of it way back when. I still love this jacket, I still wear it, but my initial thought, and something that I needed, something that was on my list, was to make a pair of beautiful and, you know, fun summer shorts. So I thought, you know what, it's a very small piece of fabric, and obviously when there's a pattern, bold and distinct like this one, there would be a lot of pattern matching involved, but I thought I can do it with a little bit of puzzle work and a little bit of, you know, figuring it out and finagling things around. We can get this done. So 5 hours into the work, I even had my night shift supervisor check on me. I decide, you know what, it's time for me to sort of base the pattern pieces together, put it on myself, so I can at least see, you know, visually where this is all going. And guess what? I was so obsessed with matching these little blue diamonds that I completely spaced out on the other pattern lines, which is that little white line between the diamonds. So guess what? When I put it on myself, and these are the front pattern pieces, you can see a very distinct triangle pointing right at the crotch area. And you know what, some things, when you see them, you can't unsee them. I can't unsee it. It's a total, like, it's a game over. There's not, you know, I always say that, you know, how can we get out of this in the moment? Right now, there's no way to get out of it, because this is all I have left over. I have no fabric to work with, and yeah, it's a good reminder to really pay attention not only to the small picture, but also to the big picture and how this all comes together, and definitely a good lesson to learn. I do have another idea how to save this all. It's not something that I have planned. It is something that we need, but I definitely did not plan for this. I was full on making summer shorts for myself. So let's see if I can make this work. At this point, I was really desperate, so I tried to save what I could save, and I had a vision of a pretty little jacket for my little one, but first I had to make sure that I had enough of other fabrics that could go really well with this geometric print. And what I found was a little piece of stretch denim, then of course that white t-shirting that I had left over from a previous project in this video, then I had some white ribbing, and also some really nice thick and blue knit. I set out to make a sort of version of a denim jacket where the front and the back pattern pieces feature contrasting yoke and are constructed from the denim fabric, but all of the other pieces like the sleeves and the hood are made from softer knit material. I can definitely say there was a lot of pattern matching, a lot of top stitching, quite a bit of hand sewing, and a good bit of improvisation as well. But as a result, I used 5 different fabric scraps, and even the zipper was upcycled from an older project way back when. The body of the jacket is also fully lined. So let's take a look how it turned out. Was to make shorts for myself and then shorts for my daughter, sort of like 2 in 1. But since shorts for myself didn't work out and I ended up making a jacket for my daughter, then you guys get a bonus project. Okay, let's see what I have here. I've made a pattern for shorts for my daughter, and by the way, there's a really detailed tutorial on the channel how to do that as well. And now all I want to do is see which fabric pieces are big enough for me to be able to sew some shorts and what combinations I can come up with. Since my little one is really adamant about pockets, I'm not sure if all kids are like that, but she really loves to have her pockets. And the things that I find in those pockets, oh boy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trace these 2 pattern pieces as the front and the back. So basically I'm going to separate them, and I'm going to use this opportunity to add a pocket and a pocket back as well. So that way it just makes more sense to work with that going forward. At first, I was really keen on making some really fun and happy summer shorts, but all of the prints that I had were either not working well together, or there just wasn't enough of one print to, even to do anything really. So I thought, you know what, let's just go the other route. Let's do the main body of the shorts in solids, and let's add accents in prints. And just like last time, I suggested that, you know what, fabric scraps are really great for waistbands and pockets and pocket bags. That's exactly what I did here. 2 pairs of shorts, both in solids, but really fun little accents for a kid. Now all of the steps on how to draft a waistband, how to draft pockets, how to sew and put this all together, you will find on my channel in the mini series on how to sew pants. So if you want to, there's a tutorial for shorts for kids, and there's also a mini series to help you out with the rest of it. Now for this next project, you know what? I had a jacket on my list, of course some summer shorts, a couple of other things, but I've been burning that midnight oil for almost a week straight now. So let's just go ahead, leave those projects for the next video, and right now do something that's, I guess, a little bit more straightforward. Now I can't say that I'm into making lingerie. However, about 3 or 4 months ago, I did buy this bralette that doesn't have any underwires. It does have foam cups and a little bit of support, but it's really comfortable. It's not sponsored at all. I'm just saying it's really comfortable. And I'm kind of very basic type of person. I don't necessarily like a lot of lace or things like that. So I thought, you know what? Let's just try and see if I can copy that and if I can make my own. Obviously, I don't have any of the special stuff that I would need for this project, but for right now, it's truly just an experiment. The principle of what I'm doing here is exactly the same as I would copy a t-shirt or a pair of pants that I've done videos on that in the past. I just measure the pattern pieces and then I copy that onto a piece of paper. And after the pattern pieces are done, I do put them together so that way I can make sure that they would all align once the fabric is cut. I try to choose fabric from my fabric scraps with the same properties that the ready-to-wear one has. So that way, when I make it, it feels the same. When I do project experiments like this one, I really find it super fun to think it through, to sort of dissect in your mind, how would you put this all together to achieve a similar result, although your environment and my environment is very different from like a factory setup. So here I went with a lot of burrito methods, probably 3 or 4 turns for sure, but my goal was to make sure that all of the seams are enclosed, that are on the inside, so that way when this is on the skin, nothing rubs and everything is nice and smooth. And ta-da! Now, there is absolutely no way that I'm going to put this on myself in front of the camera, so you'll just have to trust me that it does fit. However, I would make a couple adjustments if I was to make another one. Number one, I would add more negative ease, and I would also make a dart or a 2-piece cup, and also add support, because the original one had an insert for a foam cup. There was also some support in form of what I could touch through the fabric, felt like an elastic on the bottom. So obviously in my version there was none of that at all, and also the straps are not adjustable either. So I would need to add all of those things if I was to make another one, but so far this is good to wear at home. Now I also think I promised to show you something at the end of this video, right? So here it is, and here are 10 of my best tips of sewing modern garments from fabric scraps. Everything you need to know, from combining fabrics together, to adjusting patterns, to finding grain lines, to what kind of notions to use. So click on the video that you see on your screen. Thank you so much for watching. I truly hope it gave you a ton of ideas of what to do with your fabric scraps. And until next time, happy, thoughtful, and creative sewing. And I'll see you very soon in another video. Bye!